Nintendo Switch Lite. The Nintendo Switch Lite was released around 2020, and as it's getting older, it might require some attention and care to keep it going for the next few years. Whether you need to clean the fan and radiator, change the thermal paste or replace the thumbsticks, you need to know how to disassemble the console. I'm Max from LifeHackerMax, and in this video I will show you how I disassembled my Nintendo Switch Lite in order to reach all the components that might need attention. I tried to make this video as clear as I could for you, so it might be a little longer than my older videos. Leave me a comment and tell me if this video was okay for you or too long. And what can I do to make things better? I will break the whole disassembly, cleaning and thermal paste change, thumbstick change and assembly process into 3 videos. Check the description for the other videos, or follow the next steps in the suggested videos at the end of this one. This is my first time disassembling a Nintendo Switch Lite, and there are things that I could have done better, like the order in which I removed some of the screws, or the fact that I could have unplugged the battery sooner. I will try to make up for my mistakes either by editing some steps earlier in the video, or by pointing them out whenever it is the case. The Nintendo Switch Lite has very small components, and in my opinion it requires special attention and care when handling them, as they can easily break, tear or get lost. There are a lot of screws and they are different, so keep track of them. I managed to keep track of them by placing each set of screws with the part that they hold in place. If you wish to replace one or both thumbsticks on your Nintendo Switch Lite, be advised that while you can easily replace the left module just by taking out some screws, the right side module will require taking out more components and also a thermal paste change. So be prepared in advance before starting. If you are not sure what you are getting yourself into, maybe ask for someone's help that did this before, or better yet, take your console to a professional. In any case, if you decide to disassemble your console, be advised that if not done properly, you might end up with a broken console. So do this at your own risk. That being said, let's get down to business. Before I do anything, I make sure to take out the game card and the SD card from their slots. I start by removing the 4 screws on the back of the console. These are special screws that require a special 3-pointed screwdriver. I didn't have the specific bit type, but I easily managed to unscrew them with a flat screwdriver. There are 4 more Phillips screws holding the back case. I found that a PH000 bit works best. There are 2 screws on the bottom side, next to the charging port, and 2 on the top, close to the triggers. I proceeded to remove the back panel using a plastic card, similar to a Visa card but without money on it. If you have a plastic prying tool, that would be perfect, but as I'm a life hacker, I seem to be improvising a lot. I start from the speaker area and go around the bottom and sides of the console gently, forcing my way across. On the top side it will not work, as it has the headphones plug that prevents the cover from being removed. Once the other 3 sides are unclipped, the back plate will come out by lifting the back cover over the headphone port. Now you can inspect the fan and radiator from dust, and if cleaning the dust off is the only thing you need to do, then your disassembly journey has come to an end. You can now clean the fan with a brush and blow the dust out of the radiator with some compressed air, and you are done. Next, I take out the power and volume buttons board by unclipping the ribbon socket with a small flat screwdriver and pulling the ribbon out with tweezers. Next I will remove the metallic shield with the PH000 bit that I will also use for all the screws from now on. Now let's pause for a moment. If you only wish to remove the left side thumbstick, you can do this without removing the metallic shield. Skip to this minute of the video and take it from there. Now back to removing the shield. There are 4 screws on this one. By removing the metallic shield, you will most probably need to replace the thermal paste. So before removing it, be sure you have some thermal paste and you are also up for the job. One of the screws is different from the other 3, so keep that in mind for the assembly process. The way I keep track of my screws is by placing them alongside the part that is held in place by those specific screws. The next step you should take would be to cut the power of the main board. This is done by removing this big ribbon and unplugging the battery. By doing this, you make sure you don't accidentally short the board and prevent any potential damage to it. The power socket doesn't have any security tab like the ribbons. I simply pull the plug upwards away from the socket. I now remove the triggers held in place by two screws. The big ribbon here is responsible for powering the circuit board on the right side, which would be the left side joystick. By removing it first, you make sure it is safe to work on this side without risking any short circuit damaging other important components. This is the left side speaker box. You don't have to unscrew the next three screws unless you wish to get access to the actual speaker. As you will see, they are only screwed on the sound box and not to the main case as I thought. The sound box is in fact held in place only by this screw here. That is the only one that you need to unscrew for the disassembly process. I carefully remove the speaker connector. After I take out the speaker box, I will screw back the three screws. Three less screws to worry about when I put everything back together. And this is how I try to stay organized and keep track of everything. I unscrew the four screws that hold this board in place. Notice there are two types of screws here. They are different both in color and length. Take out the two remaining ribbons by unclipping the tabs and carefully pulling them out. Removing the board will reveal the rubber contacts, the plastic buttons, and the joystick assembly. Now I can simply remove all the rubber contacts and plastic buttons and I am left with the joystick that is held in place by two screws. I take those screws out and I can remove the joystick. Removing the joystick can be a bit tricky because of this black plastic membrane. Take your time and be careful not to break it, as it seems to be pretty fragile. And this is the joystick assembly. It can be taken apart furthermore, but I'm not going to disassemble this one because it works perfectly well. Maybe in another video. Now for the main board. I carefully remove the speaker connector and unscrew the screw holding it. Looking back now, I should have left the speaker removal at the end. I have to be honest to say, this disassembly was a bit chaotic and unorganized. I basically remove every screw that I see and try to figure out what comes off and what doesn't. And so I remove two screws that directly hold the main board and then proceed to take out the heatsink and fan. Pull the tab upwards and gently take out the ribbon. The heatsink is held by 3 screws and the fan by another 3 screws. I wanted to remove the heat bar along with the fan, but the fan has one screw hiding under the copper heatsink. So they will have to come off separately, and to do so I have to cut the foam that holds the two together. I did my best, but sadly did not manage to remove the foam without breaking its integrity. The good thing is that they can be individually inspected and properly cleaned. Before removing the fan, I still have to take the ribbon out of its socket. Same deal, pull the tab upwards and gently take out the ribbon. Now the fan can be safely removed and inspected. Don't forget to keep tabs on the screws. At this point I managed to remove the speaker, but you can leave it in place a bit more as there are no screws hidden under it, and you don't have to struggle with it like I did. I remove another screw that I could have left for later, and then I will remove the sound port and the cartridge reader that are connected together by the same ribbon. There are 7 screws holding those two in place. Again, flip the tab and gently pull the ribbon out. Next, 2 more screws on the charging port. And another 2 ribbons that have to come out. Again, flip the tab and gently pull the ribbon out. This last one needs a bit more care as the tab seems really fragile. Another screw here. And let's not forget the two antennas that are clipped on the board. I simply pull those upwards. Now I can finally remove the main board. For the second joystick, same as the first one, I have to remove the two screws holding it in place. Be careful with the black membrane when taking it out. Now the rubber membranes and plastic buttons. Each button is specifically designed to only fit in the designated spot, so there is no need to keep tabs on them. There are two more screws right here. And one here. And I can finally remove the screen shield. I am leaving two things untouched. The battery, which is held in place with double adhesive tape to the shield, and the LCD with the touchscreen also glued in place with adhesive tape. They work perfectly on my console and I'm not comfortable messing around with them since they do not need to be replaced. I will leave that for a future video. Maybe. This is as far as I go with the disassembly of the Nintendo Switch Lite. I hope this was helpful for you. I'm Max from LifeHackerMax, and if you wish to support this channel, the biggest help would be to become a Patreon following the link in the description. But you can also leave me a comment with some constructive feedback or simply click on the like button. And don't forget to subscribe. And I will be preparing another video to show you how I cleaned the fan and replaced the thermal paste, as well as one video on the assembly process. You will find links in the description.